Doma Sports Talk worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Well, the best boxers in the world news. Got an S on it today. And a lesson in humility. Well, who's the best boxer in the world right now? No matter where you are, it's one of these two guys, right? It's going to be either Alexander Usyk, undisputed heavyweight champion, or Terence Crawford, right? Undisputed welterweight champion, undisputed 140-pound champion. Excuse me. When I go by Alexander Usyk, also undisputed cruiserweight champion. Well, when you ask these guys, you will get your lesson in humility. And these guys are awesome, right? Really awesome guys. But you asked Alexander Usyk lately, he was asked who's the best fighter. And Alexander Usyk says the best fighter is Terence Crawford. He's better than me. And this is a guy, right? Alexander Usyk, who, you know how we roll here. We roll with some Usyk. Usyk, undisputed cruiserweight champion. And it's a little bit, you got to put something on it. Never fighting at home, ever. Always going directly, not neutral territory, but directly to the backyard of those people he's going to beat. He went to Berlin to beat Marco Huck. He went to Latvia to beat Marius Briedis. He went to Russia to beat Marius Gassiev to win the WBSS tournament and become undisputed. Now, that was awesome to do that. You went to their backyards. And these guys are undefeated. Marius Briedis was undefeated at the time, getting beat in Latvia. And Marius Gassiev was undefeated at the time, getting beat in Russia. Now, after that tournament, he was undisputed cruiserweight champion. But at the same time, you had Tony Bellew over here fighting twice in England against my boy, David Haye. And David Haye, Tony Bellew was the underdog, actually. But David Haye, they had that first fight. And Tony Bellew won because David Haye couldn't even walk around the ring yet. I think he tore his Achilles, but still tried to fight, right? Which was valiant, but he lost. But then they waited, let him heal, and fought again. Tony Bellew beat him again. So Tony Bellew was at the height of his powers. So Tony Bellew wanted some of Usyk. I think Tony Bellew called Usyk out. Shouldn't have done that. Usyk went to Tony Bellew's backyard. I keep getting it mixed up. It was Liverpool or Manchester. But he went directly to his backyard and beat the hell out of him too. Right? Before that Super 6 tournament, he beat Michael Hunter. And everybody ain't beating Michael Hunter. Beat Michael Hunter in the States. So he did all that. Then goes up to heavyweight, beat Anthony Joshua twice, one time in his backyard. Beat Tyson Fury ass, big old Tyson Fury ass twice. Beat Derek Chisora, beat Witherspoon, and beat somebody else. Always in their backyard. So damn it, Alexander Usyk. Anybody say Alexander Usyk is the best fighter in the world don't have no problem with me. Because 1A and 1B to me. But he says, Terence Crawford's better than me. Now you ask Terence Crawford the same question. Terence Crawford, who's the best fighter in the world? He's like, damn, basically me, but can't say that because Alexander Usyk is better than me. Yeah. Terence Crawford got Alexander Usyk better than him. That's humility. Terence Crawford, we don't have to talk about his career. Everybody else is right now, which is one reason why I say Terence Crawford has won his fight against Canelo already, in my opinion, because just the fact that the world is being asked about it, the world is speaking. For all of the media outlets that try to keep this stuff under wraps, try to say his resume is not good, try to say he doesn't fight this way or that way, then and they're out here asking people questions, and you can tell when they don't like the answers. Really? When Dimitri Bivol said Terence Crawford is the best fighter, and if you want to learn boxing, his face should be on the learning boxing book, and you heard the guy who was interviewing him, really, right? Terence Crawford gonna knock out Canelo, what Shannon Briggs said, really, right? They ain't liking these answers, right? But then stop talking to boxers and go back home and get on your internet and talk on the internet. with people who ain't boxing and people who ain't training boxers, people who are not promoting boxers, people who didn't fight before in other generations. Because if you ask them, they're going to tell you Terence Crawford is all that in a bag of chips. And if you don't want to hear it, don't ask, right? Don't ask. Because Terence Crawford's career was ridiculous, and he's been beating exceptional fighters since he beat Bryce Prescott. You know, all the fighters, stuff we don't mention. You know, people forget of Felix Diaz or Igis Klimas, stuff like that. We forget them. We don't even count them. You know, Klimas was undefeated. Diaz was the gold medalist who had just lost a very close fight to Peterson. Just stuff like that. You know, we call them people like your bad boy, you know, to beat Lucas Matejski. You know, Postal and stuff. Like, he wasn't nothing. Ndunga wasn't nothing. Jeff Horn wasn't nothing. You know, all them people. So, at the end of the day, right now, you're having to deal with the answers. So, yes, Alexander Usyk has Terence Crawford as the best fighter. He says he's better than him. And Terence Crawford says Alexander Usyk is better than him. What these people have in common is humility. And they're the very best at their craft. We can all learn from that. Doma Sports Talk, worldwide. And I'm up out of here, y'all.